B2 English Reading Test. Is over-tourism pricing locals out? If you have ever tried to enjoy a picturesque old town, only to find it full of souvenir shops, short-term rentals, and restaurants with menus in 5 languages, you have most likely experienced over-tourism. If you have ever seen graffiti reading "Tourists Go Home," you have definitely seen how serious the issue has become. In recent years, traveling has become easier than ever. Rarely have so many people traveled so often, and as more flats are turned into holiday rentals, prices go up, making it harder and harder for locals to live in the city center. Where are all the Amsterdammers? I asked an underground worker during a visit to Amsterdam, a city I had lived in 20 years earlier as an exchange student, but which I now barely recognized. "We can't afford to live here anymore," he replied. This problem is no longer limited to 1 or 2 famous destinations like Barcelona or Amsterdam. It has become a global issue that affects many of the world's most popular cities. Locals often say their neighborhoods no longer feel like home, and in many cases, they are no longer home at all. Small local shops disappear, replaced by souvenir stores, fast food chains, and holiday rentals. Ironically, people travel to experience the local atmosphere of places where the only people around are other tourists. The more popular a city becomes, the farther residents are forced to move from the center. Authenticity and community life are replaced by soulless theme park areas designed for visitors. Not surprisingly, many locals have started to push back. In several popular destinations, protests against over-tourism are now hard to miss. Demonstrators carry signs telling tourists to go home, they tell visitors in cafes and on beaches, or rather yell at them, to leave. Balconies display banners against short-term rentals, and graffiti has appeared on walls blaming tourists for rising prices. Local governments say tourism brings jobs and money. Still, residents argue that authorities could have limited the impact of tourism and might have avoided much of the anger if they had acted earlier. Instead, in many cities, tourism was allowed to grow without limits, and by the time officials reacted, the damage had already been done. Now the debate is everywhere: how do you protect the local community without killing the industry that keeps the city alive? Some cities have already started to act. Venice has introduced entry fees for day visitors, Barcelona has raised tourist taxes and plans to remove tourist apartment licenses, Amsterdam has limited short-term rentals, and other destinations have introduced tourist taxes or visitor limits. These measures are a step in the right direction, but they rarely give locals a ticket back to the neighborhoods they have already been forced to leave. The hope is that those who remain will not be the next to go.